All right, we're commenting on today's Bible reading, which was from Ezekiel chapters 44 through 46. And some awesome things happened in today's reading, chapter 44, verse 4. Then brought he me the way of the north gate before the house, and I looked, and behold, the glory of Yahweh filled the house of Yahweh. And I fell on my face. The day when God's glory fills the house is the day we're looking forward to, when God returns to be among his people, to bless us and to be a part of us. Right now he's in us in a very unique way, but there's a time when he's going to join, and it will bring forth the restitution of all things. I believe is what it says in Acts chapter 3, verses 19 through 22 or 3, somewhere along in there. Some interesting passage there. And so, but the glory of the Lord filling the house, what an awesome day that's going to be. And he eliminated the priests that had offered abominations, but chose Zadok and those that kept the charge when everyone else was going astray, but they ministered and did what was right, and they will be blessed and be able to minister in the future. It was interesting that I thought that they were to wear clothing for the priest was linen garments, no wool. And at the end of verse 18, it says they will not gird themselves with anything that causeth sweat. And so while they may be working in the house of the Lord, they're not to sweat in the house of the Lord. And so I thought that was interesting. And then in verse 21, neither shall the priest drink wine when they enter into the inner courts, neither shall they take, this was their wives of a widow, nor her that is put away, but they shall take maidens of the seed of the house of Israel, or a widow that had been a priest before, a priest wife before. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and the profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean. This is tying back in my mind, at least a portion of it, back to Leviticus chapter 10, at the very beginning of the tabernacle, and when Nadab and Abihu were smoked, were burnt, consumed in the sanctuary because they offered strange fire. And then chapter 10, verse 9, it gives the prohibition against drinking when you enter in the sanctuary, which has caused those that write the Pentateuch Haftorah to say that Nadab and Abihu were drunk when they entered into the sanctuary, and that's why they offered strange fire, because they weren't processing correctly. And so I'll just tell you, it is my belief that God is, you can say whether it's a heaven or hell issue, whatever you want, but I think it's best for me, and I would encourage you not to partake of strong drink. It's not necessary. You don't need it. And it can cause, I know more people that it's caused problems for than those that it has helped. I never knew a grandpa because of a drunk driver. And the list of people that I know that have lost loved ones because of drunk drivers. I never knew one of my wife's uncles because of a drunk driver. He was decapitated on Thanksgiving Day. And I've heard her tell the story of her grandmother screaming and saying, "Not my Kevin." And I can't imagine the pain, the loss of that. And so it's something etched in my mind and in my fabric that says that's something I don't need in my life. And it's something that can alter, and you can make your own decision on that. But I believe the word of the Lord is strongly against it. And let me just go one step further, and I'll try to rush on. But when you look at the first couple of instances, I believe the first three instances that we read about wine in the Bible are Noah, Lot, Nadab, and Abihu. And when we get to the end of the book, it is the wine of the wrath of God. You can make your own decision. And so, the Levites, they would have no possession in Israel except the land that was attributed, and then the sacrifices, the oblations, they would have all of those that would be given when the land would be divided, and it gives the dimensions of all that dividing. Then it begins to give some of the offerings that would be during the Passover, and then the princes of the people and how they would enter into the house and how they would worship. And so some very key instructions on how to behave and how to bring offerings and what was to be a part of those offerings and gifts for princes and for the regular people. And so that concludes our comments for today, other than we want to make sure that we understand and know the difference between the unclean and the clean, the profane and the holy. And God, work in my heart and in my life to make me holy. God bless you.